Hello, everyone. This is your girl, Misty Dawn. And today we are going to do some moments with Misty. It's been a little while, since we did some moments with Misty. So we're going to get on it. This is going to be in different parts. This one today is going to be a little bit of a Bible study. The first one we're going to do is about being judged. Okay, we know that in school we get judged by kids because kids are cruel. I have been overweight my whole entire life, and I have been judged my whole entire life by the cover. Now, when I look in the mirror, I see someone who is worthy of friendship and love and respect. I don't see an ugly duckling. I see God's child. But when I walk out that door to go into public, I feel ugly, disgusting, gross, like I'm not worthy of anything. Like I'm totally disgusting. So, and I think that's the part of being judged your whole life, like completely being judged for someone that people assume you are and not what you truly and who you truly are. Okay? So, you can look up these verses. It's Matthew 7, 1 through 5, Luke 6 and 37, John 7 and 24. Mostly those are talking about how if you judge people, then when you judge them and how harshly you judge them, you're going to be judged as well. Because when you believe in God and you have a certain relationship with God and you've made that covenant, that vow, which is a whole nother conversation. But you've made that covenant, that promise to God that you're going to be one with Him and you have Him in your heart and in your life. Then when you judge someone, you're being judged just the same. So don't ever sit there and think, you're strutting your stuff and thinking, I'm all that in a bag of chips and a Coke and a smile and whatever. And then think that nobody's judging you because, honey child, yes, they are. More than you realize. So just as you think that you're going to get away with judging someone, no, you're really not. And you just might want to run across someone who's going to tell you about yourself. Because not everybody is like, say, me, or, that's going to be like, no, I'm not going to tell you. Somebody will tell you about yourself. Because sometimes people's giving dams are broken. And that's just the God's honest truth. So, one of my favorite verses about being judged is when you're judged by God. This is my prayer, which is Jeremiah's prayer. And I pray this about every night. And it's Jeremiah 10, 23 and 24. It's, Lord, I know that people's lives are not of their own. It's not for them to direct their own steps. Discipline me, Lord, but not only in due measure, not in your anger, for you will reduce me to nothing. I want God to judge me with His grace, mercy, love, caring, understanding. Because I'm going to tell you what, if God's mad at me, oh, you better watch out. Because you're going to curse yourself. You realize that? If you don't follow what God's will is for you, you don't follow what God has for you, you're cursing yourself. It goes in with everything that's in the Bible. Like, have you ever watched a comedian? He or she will start out their skit with, say, a joke about weight loss. And then they'll go on throughout their whole thing. And then when they end up and they come full circle, their ending joke will be about weight loss. Well, that's kind of like how God is. He starts out his thing with how you should do what He wants for you because He's gonna bless you in the end. And then when it all comes full circle and you're standing before Him, that's what it is. It's about what He wanted for you in His will. And you'll see your whole life and how it panned out and whether you did what He needed you to do for Him. In the meantime, He teaches you lessons. And one of the lessons He teaches you is do not judge people. You don't know what they're going through. Because I know this from experience. Growing up as a fat kid, I was not accepted. Not at all. Because I was fat and I was poor. I mean, come on. Food stamps, the free lunch card. You remember those? You had to go through the line and get it punched. You get a free lunch. I didn't care. I was just glad I could eat. And I was thankful to God for that. But a lot of the other kids were very cruel. And I mean, I got shoved in lockers as much as you could because I was a fat kid. Shoved downstairs and peanut butter put in my hair and all kinds of stupid stuff. Gum and the whole nine. And you want to know why people did that to me? Because I was fat. But when it came down to it, I didn't judge them. I didn't really ever judge anyone at school. Because I didn't know what kind of home life they had. Because I know my home life was messed up. It was tore up from the floor up. And there was no getting around it. I mean, my dad was on a rampage, and now I understand why. Now I know that he was mentally ill. At the very least, he had depression. At the very least, he was depressed. I mean, he was always trying to figure out ways to make money quick. He was always trying to figure out ways to, be the big man on campus and to have people like him. And he was taking out his anger on the people that were closest to him. Because that's what you do. I understand that now. So he was being judged for his actions. And he couldn't handle the pressure. And all of that is, hindsight's 2020. But I think that if he would have sat down and realized that if he would have just given his life over to God and lived by Jeremiah's prayer, just to start with even, he might have been a little bit happier. And it might have done a little bit better for him. I mean, I'm not saying that I didn't have times when I cried and I asked God why. No matter how much I starved myself, no matter what I did, I still got picked on. I still couldn't lose the weight fast enough. I still couldn't do anything right. I still was judged. But I knew in my heart of hearts that I wasn't being judged by God. Because I wasn't judging them for their actions. I was forgiving them. I said, forgive them, Lord, because they don't know what they're doing. Obviously, something's going on in their home life. And they can't do anything but take it out on me because I'm an easy target. Because my whole thing was, okay, if you're going to beat me up, just to hurry up and get it done so I can go to class. I really, and don't leave any bruises because when I get home I'll get beat up too, so. Can you just do it somewhere where nobody will see? And I would pray after that. And I realize now that the only person who really didn't judge me was God. And I needed to cling to that. So I guess I said all that to say this. Judging is not something that we need to do. If someone's having a hard time, if you have a friend, if you see somebody on the street walking by, and I've done this, I'm guilty of this, and you go, oh, there's a real swing name, or there's one of Mansfield's special people. Don't do that. God don't like ugly, and that's ugly. And I have done that. I have judged people like that. Because, you know what? They're looking at you thinking the same thing. And it hurts. Just as much as it hurts you. Even when you were little, like a kid in school, and it hurt to get judged and for, people to make fun of you and hurt you like that. It hurts them as an adult too. So there's a song, and you can also Google this. It is by Bone Thugs and Harmony, and it features Mary J. Blige. And it's called Order My Steps. And it's about Jeremiah's prayer. And it is a powerful song. A very powerful song. And I encourage you all to listen to it, to watch it, to hear it, to download it and burn it, because it really does drive it home. Judging people is not the best thing that you can do. You need to be compassionate, understanding, helpful. If you have to make a decision and it's like a judgmental type of decision, do it with God's love. Don't judge someone and go, oh, they're a retard. And I'm guilty of that. I'm very guilty of that. Oh my gosh, am I guilty of that? And I have to pray hard because I've seen in my life over the last month how it has deteriorated and how I have gone and lost so much because I have kind of gotten off the beaten path when it comes to doing what I know God has for me. Pressing through on different situations. And how I've like listened to the wrong voice in my ear. And judged where I shouldn't have judged. And judged harshly where I shouldn't have judged. So again, I just reiterate that you need to look up these verses. Pray over these verses. Pray over what I've said. Just because I said it doesn't mean it's true. Look it up. Pray it. Get in your word. Because that's the only way that you're going to get closer to God. And I need to do that myself. That's why I'm getting my feet steadfast. Not on shifting sand either. So, Matthew 7, 1 through 5. Luke 6 and 37. John 7 and 24. And don't forget Jeremiah's prayer, which is 10, verses 23 and 24. Do that. And comment below. Or to the side. Or that side. And let me know what you think. Let's get a discussion going. Because this is some pretty heavy stuff. And this is part 1 of Moments with Misty. And this is the Bible study part. Mwah! Goodbye, my darlings.